الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. Before we begin, a reminder of our fundraiser, inshallah, on the 9th to the 27th. Hopefully it will be later to Khattab, inshallah. Our target is mainly to cover the utilities of the masjid, like the hydro and the water used throughout the year. So please come on Wednesday, inshallah, for Salat al-Tarawih and show your support. We started to speak about getting da'wah to other Muslims, and as they say in English, charity begins at home. So how can you make da'wah to everybody around you except your family? So today, inshallah, we'll talk about making da'wah to someone's spouse, husband to wife, and the wife to husband. Why should you do this? Because you will live with them in this dunya, and inshallah, in the akhirah, in the next life, you'll be together. And I know this comes as bad news to some of the brothers over here, because they think, okay, I thought after we die, everybody is going to a different direction. I'm going to Jannah, my husband is going somewhere else. We never know. I remember one time, Khattab was giving a talk at Jum'ah, and he was describing Jannah and the pleasures in Jannah. And he was saying, inshallah, when you go to Jannah, you go to your palace, and mashallah, the rivers, the hurricane, and the birds, and all the things, and you can feel the excitement in the masjid. Takbir and all these things. And mashallah, the hurricane are there, and the birds are there, and the fruits, and everything. Mashallah, subhanallah. Then the sheikh said, then your wife will come. And I said, oh man, why did you ruin the story? Why? Well, these are not my words. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, جَنَّاتُ عَدْنٍ يَدْخُلُونَهَا وَمَنْ صَلَحَ مِنْ آبَائِهِمْ وَأَزْوَاجِهِمْ وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ. So the believers will go to Jannah, and they will take along with them their wives and their children and their parents. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. So how can you reach this level that you and your wife, inshallah, will make it to Jannah? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy in Jannah, because not everyone in Jannah will have the same number of good hasanat. Some people will be in the basement, some people will be in the middle, some people will be in the Firdaus al-A'la. And we know that your joy and pleasure in Jannah will not be complete until you are joined with your beloved ones. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are two things to do. He will either reduce some to go down to be joined with the others, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise some in rank so all of them will be together. So what do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do? He is Kareem. He will raise everyone up, elevate up there. So to do this, inshallah, we'll talk next time about how to reach that level and to go to Jannah together and to have to be united in faith, because as we're told, before even the marriage begins, the foundation of the relationship in Islam has to be on the deen. This is what the Prophet ﷺ said. Look for the religion. Look for someone who is practicing the faith. So when you are married, you feel like you are one person. You complete each other. Okay? I'm going to give you two stories to explain what I mean. The first one, Abdullah ibn Rawaha, one time he was sick, and he was lying in his wife's lap, and he was putting his head on his wife's lap, and all of a sudden he started to cry. Well, she didn't know why he was crying. She started to cry too. So he said, why are you crying? She said, well, I saw you crying, and I started to cry, but I don't know why. He said, well, when in my sleep, I was halfway asleep, I remember this verse in the Quran, وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. Every and each one of you will pass over Jahannam. This is a decree by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, I'm not too sure if I will be among those who will pass safely to the other side or those who will fall down. This is why I cried. Some of you, if you have an incident like this, all of a sudden you are sitting there eating or watching TV, drinking tea or something, and all of a sudden you started to cry, what will the other side say? I knew from day one you have to see a doctor. You're messed up. There's something wrong with you. I said it from day one, but they forced me to marry you. Something like this. Now compare this to another story. I think it's a true story. There was a couple
which is the opposite of Abdullah ibn Rawaha and his wife. So this man was married to a lady and they hated each other. She hated him and his family, and he hated her and her family. There is no love, mawadda and rahmah. There is nothing in the relationship. And their son came from school, biology class, and he said his mom was in the kitchen chopping onions and she was crying and everything. So he said, Mom, we studied today at the biology class, the origin of man. So where do you think we came from? She said, honey, it's very easy. It's in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we are the descendants of Adam. We are human beings. We came from Adam alayhi salam. The kid said, okay. He ran to his dad in the living room. He was watching TV. So he said, Dad, I have a question for you. He said, okay, what is it? He didn't even look at the guy. What do you want? He said, I just asked my mom where we came from, and she said, we came from Adam alayhi salam. We are humans. He said, no. Don't listen to your mom. She is teaching you wrong. We are monkeys. The theory of evolution, Darwinism, So the kid ran back to his mom in the kitchen, confused. He said, Mom, I just asked you where we came from. You said we came from Adam alayhi salam. I asked my dad, he said we are monkeys. She said, honey, there is no confusion. Both of us are saying the same thing. I was talking about my family. He is talking about his family. Two different things. So, inshallah tomorrow we'll tell you how to make it to that level of faith and that bond between the husband and wife. So together, inshallah, we'll make it to Jannah. The question for last night, there are 2 ayat in Surah Al-Rum next to each other that give you the times for the 5 daily salawat according to Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him and his father. The answer is ayat 17 and 18. فسبحان الله حين تمسون مغرب العشاء وحين تصبحون فجر وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا is عصر وحين تظهرون صلاة الظهر. All of them. The winner is brother Yusuf Mahmoud. Come here. Assalamu alaikum. Takbir. Well, I know for a fact that this brother didn't Google the answer just like everybody else. When I gave the question right away, he came to me and he said he knew the answer on the top of his head. Congratulations. Thank you. So the question for tonight, the word asad or lion is mentioned 1 time only in the Quran. It is in Juz Amma. So if you know where in Juz Amma the word lion, asad, is mentioned, email me before tomorrow Asr at Imam Mustafa.